Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And here I have a great article for you guys from Mike over at Light Reading. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. There's a lack of urgency around AT&T's 5G build, per an analyst from Raymond James. According to one financial analyst firm, AT&T's dragging its feet when it comes to the mid-band flavor of 5G. We believe there is a lack of urgency regarding deployment of mid-band spectrum, and the company remains content for now staying behind T-Mobile and Verizon on mid-band build-out until it sees more material 5G revenue opportunities or user experience differentiation, wrote the financial analyst with Raymond James in a note to investors. And I'll leave it there, and you guys can check out the rest of the article. I'll leave a link to it in the description. So I want to give you guys some commentary. So AT&T started around deploying the spectrum around the same time as Verizon. They just didn't deploy it at the same type of pace and scale. So now AT&T is sitting at around 175 million pops. I'm confident. I'm very confident. Like, I'm 100% confident they get to 200 million pops covered by the end of this calendar year. 200. Verizon, they'll probably come in at 230, maybe 240 pops covered, million pops. Now the next phase, that's the interesting one that, Raymond James may have a point. The analyst over at Raymond James may have a point. What does AT&T do now with the next set of pops, right? This is the rule build. This is where it geographically gets much harder to deploy. Do they slow it down even more and they go from 200 to 220, 230 within a year and a half? Does that happen? Or do they renew their focus? Do they get motivated behind fixed wireless access and they start deploying the C-band quicker in these parts as well, right? And those rural parts where the next set of pops are, right, the next 100 million pops, it's geographically much more spaced out. But these are the parts where AT&T doesn't have fiber in a lot of these areas. And some of those areas are DSL, provided with DSL, and home internet air can perform much better versus DSL. So that's an interesting point for AT&T to look at. They have to look at this from a business perspective. They have to say, okay, if we don't get our fixed wireless access into these areas and, take some of these DSL customers off of DSL onto our fixed wireless access, these customers will likely end up on Verizon or T-Mobile's fixed wireless access. That's how they have to look at it. They have to look at it from a negative perspective to get them motivated to deploy the network faster. They have the same type of assets. They don't have as much bandwidth, but they have the DoD and the C-band in every inch of the United States. So they can go deploy on the sites where they deployed FirstNet equipment and spectrum. Those sites are already modern. They can go deploy the C-band DoD panel very quickly. It's not going to take them long, right? In fact, if we look at the two build-outs, if we look at the build-out that Verizon has to undergo and the build-out that AT&T could potentially undergo, right? AT&T should be much faster. Verizon will have to go to a lot of these sites, right, as they approach 250, 260, 270 million pops, 280. There's a lot of older sites that Verizon will have to fully rip and replace. We're talking old CDMA, Band 13 only. Those are the type of sites that Verizon is approaching as they get more rural. And those are the sites that are going to take 2, 3, 4 weeks to fully rip and replace for one site. AT&T already underwent that. They did. Every single site by now should be done modernized. They went to those old sites, they ripped them, they put that FirstNet equipment, they changed the baseband. So they should have a much easier time upgrading the rural network. It's literally just a modernization for them. Not even a modernization. They just go, they stay there a day, two tops, the tower team, and they just add a two radios and they leave. That's it. That's all that should be needed on a lot of these sites that have already been modernized. Whereas Verizon, they have a whole different process to these sites, especially as it gets more rural. Lots of those sites are very old. They need full rip and replaces. The basebands have to be swapped. So they have a big task ahead of them. AT&T, not so much. So it's all up to AT&T in terms of the urgency, how much and how fast they want to scale. Right? If they see great success from FWA, I think they go for it. Right? They look at monetizing every bit of that spectrum that they can. Not in terms of the same scale, but wherever they feel comfortable, like, okay, this is the amount of people I'm comfortable to add with this spectrum, and here we monetize. At least they monetize something, because right now they're putting all this capacity on air and everybody's still paying the same. So the user is getting faster speeds, but it's not really benefiting AT&T. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading your comments. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.